Hey guys, welcome back to another very interesting video of our channel Versatile Knowledge, and today in this video I'll be doing the full in-depth review of the Realme X3 smartphone. So I've been using the Realme X3 smartphone, the vanilla Realme X3 and not the Realme X3 Super Zoom, for around 45 days now, and I've understood everything in and out of this device. And also this device has got two software updates, one right after I unboxed this smartphone and the second software update a month after this smartphone was released. And the second software update actually brought in a lot of improvements which I had in the earlier cons section of this Realme X3 smartphone. I have divided this video between the pros and cons, and I'll be explaining you guys in detail about what exactly this device is capable of. So let's go ahead and start with the first point which I like about this device, and that is the performance of the smartphone. The Realme X3 actually comes with the Snapdragon 855 plus SoC, and also it is packed with the LPDDR4X RAM, and also it has the Adreno 640 GPU. And when it comes to the performance of this device, it is actually a beast. It is unmatched in terms of the performance, whether it is the day-to-day tasks, whether it is the normal social media, the calls, the messages, the Instagrams, the Facebook, Twitter, and whatever it is, a YouTube video watching, gaming, extensive gaming, high profile gaming, high refresh rate gaming, and many other things as such. The performance of this device is actually a beast in this price range. I would actually go ahead and say, if your budget is totally tight for 25,000 rupees, there is not a single device which is more powerful than the Realme X3 smartphone, all due to the Snapdragon 855 plus SoC. Even the Redmi K20 Pro and also the OnePlus Nord actually retail in the same category, but the performance of this Realme X3 is one step ahead of the Redmi K20 Pro and also that of the OnePlus Nord smartphone. So guys, the second important thing that I like about this device is about this 120 Hz smooth display that is present on this smartphone. When this device actually launched in the market, a lot of reviewers who got the review units from Realme actually went ahead and bashed this smartphone about having a very bad display, but this device has actually a very good display in my opinion. It is not at all bad, it is not at all a bad display. And one thing that is actually a compliment for this smartphone display is that 120 Hz smooth refresh rate. I have used 120 Hz smartphones in the past, like the Asus ROG Phone 2, or it may be the recently launched mid-range Poco X2 smartphone. But one thing that is actually commendable on this Realme X3 smartphone is the optimization for the 120 Hz refresh rate. Recently, a couple of weeks back, I got this update which was around 250 or 300 MB, and there they have actually optimized the high refresh rate, and also they have actually included a new feature called the smooth scrolling in the Realme Lab option. I'm actually using that smooth scrolling option, and the overall UI is actually so smooth that I feel like this device is flying across everything. It is actually so smooth that it enhances the performance of the smartphone just because of the high refresh rate display. I gave the smartphone to a couple of my friends to use and to tell me what is their experience about this. They actually told, this is so smooth, this is such a fast device. They actually were coming from a flagship devices itself, like the OnePlus 7 or OnePlus 7T, and even when compared to the OnePlus 7 and OnePlus 7T, the high refresh rate was so well optimized on the Realme X3 smartphone. It feels slightly more faster than the 90 Hz refresh rate displays that we have used in the past. The third important thing that I liked about this Realme X3 device is about the Realme UI and the optimization that is present on the Realme UI. So we all actually love Oxygen OS, right? And also we love the stock Android look that Oxygen OS 10 used to provide because of the fact that it is so fast, so smooth, and it is well optimized for the hardware that is present on the OnePlus smartphones. But Realme actually does not get more credit for how well the Realme UI is optimized. One thing to note down here is this is my first Realme smartphone that I have purchased out of my own money and I have reviewed for the channel. And Realme X3 smartphone's Realme UI is one of the best optimizations that I have seen for the hardware software software combination that is present out there. I've used MIUI, I've used One UI, I've used stock Android, iOS, iPadOS, I've used the Oxygen OS and everything. And one thing that I felt is that Realme UI is not at all bad, and it is actually very well optimized for the hardware that is present out there. It may be the 120 Hz refresh rate optimization, it may be the battery optimization, it may be for the overall performance of the smartphone. The dark mode is fantastic on this device as well. Even though this is an LCD display, the dark mode looks very good. Also, all the Android 10 gestures that is present is actually available on this smartphone. And one most important thing that I loved about this Realme X3 device in specific is that it packs in with the default Google application for all the basic smartphone activities that is present. It may be the calls, it has the Google phone application. For the messages, Google Message. For contacts, Google Contacts. For browser, Google Chrome browser. For the assistant, Google Assistant. And for the applications, Google Play Store. No third party, their own app market and other things has not been bloated into this device. Even though this device actually came with a lot of bloatwares, we have done a specific video about how to remove all the bloatwares, and with the help of that method itself, I actually was able to remove all the bloatwares on this smartphone, and this smartphone is running like a charm for the last 1.5 months that I'm using this. And Realme UI is actually a very underrated operating system for the Android that is present out there. So guys, the fourth important thing that I liked about the Realme X3 smartphone is that haptic vibration motors. We all know the fact that Apple dedicatedly includes the haptic engine on their smartphones, so that when you're using this smartphone for gaming purposes, or you're using your smartphone while typing or something, and when call comes or any other conditions where there will be a trigger of vibration, Apple is the king in terms of the vibration motors. And this device also is right up there when it comes to the vibration motor. When you're playing games or when you're typing, or when a call comes, or when a message comes, or when a notification comes, the vibration motor is so well, and the haptic engine gives a very good feedback. So that's why I keep locking and unlocking this smartphone to get that error vibration that it feels so good in my hand. So this is the finger that I've actually triggered for the locking of the smartphone and unlocking. I keep pressing with the wrong finger to just feel that vibration, so because it is so well done on the Realme X3 smartphone. So the next important thing that I liked about this device is the presence of the UFS 3 based storage. So the devices such as Redmi K20 Pro, the OnePlus Nord actually comes with the UFS 2 storage, but this device in the same price range comes with the UFS 3 storage. So this devices or any other device in this price range comes with a high resolution camera like 48 megapixel, 64 megapixel camera, Sony sensors, Samsung sensors, etc. So when you're taking a camera continuously in a 64 megapixel mode, or in a high res mode, or in a pro mode, or the raw mode, so to save those photographs, this camera actually needs to write back those photographs to your storage, and that is where it makes a split-second difference on this Realme X3 smartphone. So this has a UFS 3 storage, and with the help of which you can take quick 64 megapixel photographs, and that is how it makes a huge difference when it compares to the UFS 2 storage. And also when you're copying the files from the phone to the computers, the write speeds will be so fast that the transferring will actually happen in a jiffy. So this is how the UFS 3 based storage will make a lot of difference. Consider one of your friend has sent a zip file on a Google Drive, and you have to just download the zip file and extract it on your mobile phone locally, and the extraction process or the unzipping or the zipping process happens very fast on this device, just because of the fact this has the UFS 3.0 storage. So guys, the next important thing that I liked about this device is the battery optimization and the charging speeds. So let's straight away dive into the battery optimization about this device and how well I got the battery backup. I'll divide this between two important scenarios. One is in the general day-to-day or the casual usage scenario, and second is during the heavy multimedia and gaming scenario. In the first scenario, easily I used to get around 5.5 to 6 hours of screen on time. I am showing some screenshots about my screen on time durations that I have got on the Realme X3 smartphone whenever I've used this smartphone very casually, like normal calls, normal SMS, a couple of YouTube videos here and there, and using it for social media, a couple of video calls, Facebook, Instagram, and other things, very casual mobile phone stuff. And I used to easily get around 5.5 to 6 hours of screen on time. And when I've actually reduced the refresh rate to 60 Hz, I used to get 25 to 30 minutes more of screen on time. We had given continuous honest feedback to Realme people that when we have kept at high refresh rate, the battery was draining very fast, but Realme has actually optimized with the recent software update. And also even at 120 Hz high refresh rate and also with that smooth scrolling option turned on, I'm easily able to get 5.5 hours of screen on time on an average every day. But when it comes to heavy gaming, that is where the battery actually drains very fast, and this is common with every device that is present in this price range or any other price range out there. When I played continuous games like 5 to 10 games of Call of Duty, 3 to 4 games of PUBG, some games of Asphalt, Subway Surfer and many other things, and all these durations I was screen recording so that I could do a gaming review of this smartphone, and then I used to get around 4 hours to 4 hours 20 or 25 minutes of screen on time. And that is not a con in my opinion, because the processor will be in continuous usage to just put a lot of stress on this smartphone to just test the limits of the screen on time. And one thing that I actually forgot while shooting this video was that the cellular call quality, the Bluetooth quality was actually very good. This smartphone also supports the Vivo LTE and also the voice over Wi-Fi on both the SIM cards simultaneously, and this is actually very well optimized as well. And also there is a support for Bluetooth 5.1 as well, which is also very well optimized. There is no problems of connection drops or something like that. The cellular call quality and the call reception was also very good. And I am recording this section from the front camera of the Realme X3 smartphone to just give you guys an idea of how good is the front camera quality for recording the videos. If you guys are a YouTuber and looking to buy this smartphone for YouTube purposes, you will just get an idea of this. Now let's come to the con section, that is the things that I do not like about this device. And the first thing that I do not like about this device is the camera quality. Remember, I'm coming to this Realme X3 smartphone by using the smartphones like the OnePlus 7, Redmi K20 Pro, and also I'm currently testing the OnePlus Nord as well. And when it compares to those devices in this price range, this camera is hopeless. This actually shoots very underwhelming photographs, and I will not take much of your time about explaining the camera because we have done a dedicated camera review of this device and we have explained in detail about everything about how good is the camera and in what condition the camera performs well and in what condition the camera is hopeless and in what condition the camera is just unusable. So just I'll keep this in brief. The secondary front facing camera, the 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera is useless. The macro camera is useless, and apart from that the 64 megapixel mode is also not very well optimized because you will not see much of a difference between the normal 16 megapixel photos and 64 megapixel photos. Telephoto camera is okayish and the ultra wide angle camera is also just okayish. And I have shown complete list of around 40 to 50 photographs in my dedicated camera review, so you guys go ahead and check that video out so that you will get a complete idea about what is this camera capable of. So guys, the next important thing that I do not like about this device is the overall design language of this smartphone. So one thing is, I have mentioned time and again that I do not like this dual punch hole that is present on any smartphone out there. Either it may be Nord, the Poco X2 or the Realme 6 Pro or anything as such. I do not like the dual punch hole out there. It is a hopeless design language. Even Samsung, who was one of the first companies to bring the dual punch hole on the S10 Plus, realized soon and they removed the dual punch hole and moved to a single punch hole camera because it is actually useless, guys. Either the ultra wide angle camera or the depth sensor that is present on the secondary front facing camera is actually useless, and it also spoils the overall look and feel of this device. And also there is a huge camera bump that is present, because of which I cannot actually place this smartphone on a table and use this. Realme has been using this design language for how many phones? Like 20 phones out there from Realme, the same brand releasing the same design language, same camera setup at the back like this, the selfie camera on the front somewhere here or here. It's the same design language is being used on at least 20 Realme smartphones both in China and in India. So they have to actually start giving out a different design language for their Realme smartphones. So guys, the next important thing that I do not like about this device is the presence of the single bottom firing speakers, and that is utter crap. Even though if there was not a dedicated stereo speakers, they could have at least doubled the earpiece as speaker to provide that stereo effect on this smartphone, considering this is a flagship device and it has such a powerful processor, and they could have actually optimized so that the gamers could use two speakers so that they can get more accurate sound of the footsteps or something like that. But the speaker also that is present on this device is so bad that I rarely use the speaker that is present on this smartphone, and I've actually purchased the 3.5 mm adapter. So that is the another con, that this device for no reason does not have an headphone jack at all. So 3.5 mm headphone jack on this device at this price range was just expected. And also the audio quality while using 3.5 mm adapter and also the earphones, normal wired earphones, is just very good. And also the Dolby Atmos kicks in only while using the earphones, guys. I have not noticed the Dolby Atmos effect in the speakers. And also I have a feeling that this Dolby Atmos thing is actually kind of a gimmick in any smartphone that I have actually used, and the same happens with this Realme X3 smartphone also. Another important thing that I did not like about not this device but Realme in general is that they are launching too many smartphones. Realme C11, C12, I can't even keep a count of how many smartphones they are launching. When the smartphone company launches so many smartphones, they cannot actually focus on the software support that they can provide for a particular smartphone. Why Apple and the OnePlus is actually good at software optimization is because they launch limited number of smartphones, so they have limited number of phones to focus on, and they can keep pushing updates for those particular phones. But when it comes to Xiaomi, Oppo, Vivo, Realme and Samsung, they cannot provide software updates for so many smartphones for a prolonged period of time, only because they have so many phones to focus on. And I don't know how well they will be optimizing this particular smartphone for the next 3 years to come. Now comes the verdict part about this device. Should you actually buy this smartphone right now after 1 month of this launch? If your priority is software, cameras, brand value, then you should go for the OnePlus Nord. If your priority is Super AMOLED display, good at gaming, if your priority is good build quality or something, you should go for the Redmi K20 Pro. If your priority is only gaming, if you have used the Realme phones in the past, you don't want to use the MIUI or something, or if you're okay with the Realme X3's cons that I have mentioned, then you can go ahead and purchase this smartphone for around 20 to 23,000 rupees. So this is a very good value for money when it comes to certain sectors like the UFS storage, UFS 3.0 storage, the gaming segment of it. This is very good, and 120 Hz refresh rate is commendable. 120 Hz refresh rate actually makes this feel like a true flagship. It can even compete in terms of the speed with the smartphones of today, that is the 865 based phones. So that's it for this video, guys. If you guys have liked this video, please hit the like button, share this video with your friends and subscribe to the channel for more interesting content ahead. Thank you for watching, guys.